You're like shedding parts of you that don't serve you anymore, or that you've outgrown, or maybe there's friends or people in your life that you're realizing that like you don't mesh with anymore. And it's because you're evolving, you're leveling up, and you're like shedding layers of yourself. The dark night of the soul usually comes up like right at the moment where you have every reason to be happy and everything is just okay. Maybe you're like kind of coasting and it triggers this like, wait, things are good right now. Let's fuck some shit up. Like, let's cause chaos. I don't deserve to be happy. I don't deserve peace and serenity.
Welcome to the Trading Raw Stories podcast. I'm Rita, the host with the most inspiring stories that you ever did hear. Back in the day when the day was back, I was known as the juicing queen. I became raw vegan overnight after watching a documentary called Food Matters. Changing what I was putting in and on my body didn't just make me lose weight and have great skin. It gave me mind clarity, more energy, and over time made me so self-aware and intuitive that I vibrate on a higher frequency and level of consciousness that's turned me into a manifesting queen. I've lived like 9 lives and have amazing stories to share that may inspire you to finally leave that toxic guy you're with, quit that miserable job you hate, start that business you've been talking about forever, and at the very least, you'll probably start saying yes more often and eat more vegetables. I'm your tell it like you need to hear it and make you do it, sister from another mister. I've lived quite the life and have stories for days that have inspired women to transform their lives in real big ways. So I created this podcast to share my insane and unbelievable stories with the world to reach whoever needs to hear them. I'll bring on inspiring humans to trade stories with me, and I'll even have some live coaching sessions with listeners calling in. You're here because you were meant to find this podcast, this community, these raw stories. There are no coincidences. Everything happens for you, not to you, and I'm so glad you're here.
Welcome back to another episode of the Trading Raw Stories podcast. I'm so grateful you're here, and I'm so thankful that you love this podcast so much. A lot of you have written such beautiful reviews, and I wanted to share a couple of them. Just shout you guys out, let you know I see you, I appreciate you, and I love you so much. And I'm grateful that this is serving you. My goodness, it just warms my heart. So I wanted to share one from Lauren Dreyer, and she wrote, this podcast, the topic was 100% authentic. She said, listening to this gave me fire. The relationships, self-image, self-sabotage, all the things in this hit home for me and made me feel not so alone. I love how real this is. No beating around the bush on how life is. Wow, Lauren, I love you, and I think this is amazing and so sweet and so just fabulous to see and know that it's serving you in this way. So thank you so much for sharing that. Another one was by Patricia Farden. She says, I love to hear stories of healings and awakenings. Learning and sharing tools for life should be a never-ending cycle in everyone's journey. This podcast is an exchange of life experiences and lessons that will add value to anyone. Wow. That was so beautiful. Oh my gosh. One more. Erica Lynn wrote one. She was actually a guest. I think it was like the second episode that I have on here. If you guys haven't heard the one with Erica, you really should go back to episode number 2 and check it out. It's so freaking good. So Rita's no BS approach to living her most authentic life combined with her unbelievable stories will surely inspire you. Do scary things, get out of your comfort zone, and watch your life unfold in ways you can't even imagine are just some of the topics that are, and it cuts off. I don't know why it does that. Like when you look at the reviews, like you can't see the whole thing. But I just wanted to acknowledge some of the reviews, and it just fills my heart. I appreciate you guys so much. Seriously, like it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Okay, anyway, so today I wanted to talk about the dark night of the soul. It's otherwise known as an existential crisis. I don't know if I said that word right. I'm foreign. Get off my back. Leave me alone. I don't know. So it's basically like the time in your life where you are feeling lost, confused, like you don't know your purpose. You are asking these big questions like, what's the point of everything? Why am I here? So the dark night of the soul, it's like a spiritual depression. It's like where you feel basically depressed. And this happens right before you experience a level of enlightenment. It's like this time in your life where everything feels like it's just the worst. Emptiness, loneliness, confusion, just all the, it's such a dark place. That's why it's called Dark Night of the Soul. You feel confused, like you should be happy, but you're not. Like maybe you have everything that you could ever have wanted, or like you have all the things that you should want. Should is in quote, air quotes. That's the thing about like the Dark Night of the Soul. It's like it comes up right at the moment, which you have every reason to be happy. And you're just like, what the fuck? Why am I not happy? Why am I not happy? Like partially that comes from the ego, really. Just like, you're happy? Oh yeah? No, let's fuck some shit up. Let's self-sabotage. Let's ruin things. Let's get in our head and overanalyze and create problems and create chaos. Like that's what we do. It's so crazy. But yeah, so the part of you that's still like chasing outside things to make you happy, it's like dying, right? So it's like nothing's important that you thought was important. And you start to lose and shed parts of you. Like maybe you don't want to go out anymore, like go out partying and drinking, and you've lost interest in that, and you're just like, that's lame, that's boring, it's not my thing. You're like shedding parts of you that don't serve you anymore, or that you've outgrown, or maybe there's friends or people in your life that you're realizing that like you don't mesh with anymore, and it's because you're evolving, you're leveling up, and you're like shedding layers of yourself. So the dark night of the soul usually comes up like right at the moment where you have every reason to be happy and everything is just okay. Maybe you're like kind of coasting, and it triggers this like, wait, things are good right now. Like I said, or like a little bit ago, let's fuck some shit up. Like, let's cause chaos. I don't deserve this. And it comes from like this like self-worth. I don't deserve to be happy. I don't deserve peace and serenity and everything being good. Let me create some chaos. And we're recreating chaos and trauma and things from our childhood. Essentially, we're just all a bunch of like traumatized 7-year-olds running around the country or the world or whatever. But yeah, so maybe like you even start having like purge symptoms. Like for some people, this is actually like them gagging, like they're feeling like they're purging, they're getting rid of a lot of things. Maybe you're like cleaning out your house and you're cleaning out your closet and you're reorganizing, you're getting rid of things, you're replacing things, you're just like kind of getting rid of stuff. And then maybe you're even like gravitating toward healthier foods, or maybe you're feeling like heavy or light, or like you declutter your space and you just feel like you want to get rid of stuff. You're like purging. This just happened to me, actually. I'm looking around at my apartment and I'm like, I want to get rid of everything. Like I want a completely empty place. So overwhelmed with like so much stuff. And you're just looking at everything feeling kind of lost. Like you're stuck. You don't know where to go from here. You don't know what your purpose is, or you feel lost and you feel confused, and you're just like, you don't know where you're headed or where you're going and what you're meant to be doing and all of that. So it's like you're kind of feeling like you're just no longer living the way that you created for yourself before. It's like, now who am I? Because that you're not your old self and you're not your new self. You're kind of like in this like limbo gray area kind of thing. So it's just important to be open to like a new way of living, but also like just surrendering and letting it unfold rather than being in your head trying to figure it out. Because everything that you're thinking, things that you're replaying over and over and over in your mind, you're not going to figure shit out. It's just not going to happen. You don't figure things out in your head. You take action on something and then you get clarity based on how it feels for you. And in that moment of taking an action and then feeling into it, then you go, oh, that feels good. Or, oh, no, I don't really like that. Oh, no, that's not really my vibe. Oh, no, not so much. Like you won't know until you actually do something and try. So take action. That would be like my number one piece of advice to any human on this planet is take action, especially on the thing that you've been thinking about forever. Maybe even talking yourself out of. Take freaking action. So another thing that is like a sign that you're going through the dark night of the soul is you really don't care to impress people anymore. You just really don't care. And you just would rather connect on a deeper level rather than like try to impress people that really don't matter. And I'm not saying like people don't matter, but like when you dress up and you go out and you're trying to look real cute and blah, 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 and they're complete strangers that you're like dressing up for or trying to make people like you, right? And if you're a people pleaser, like I'm a recovering people pleaser, so it's like wanting everybody to like you. That was like such a big deal for me. It was so important for me that everyone liked me. So now when I'm looking at these ratings, these reviews on my podcast, like it was 5 stars, like 100 reviews are all 5. And then suddenly there's like 1 or 2 that are 1 star. And then there's like, it looks like there's some on 2 and 3 and 4. I don't know. But like that would have normally hurt my feelings. That would have made me question like, should I even do this? Why am I putting myself out there? People are judging, people are hating, people are talking shit. But I know, see, this is the difference, is that now I'm able to see that, experience it, but then tell myself, hey, there are people that are listening to this that it's actually really helping. And if I don't show up and do this, then I won't be helping those people. And those people need me and need this. So those that are hating, I could look at that and be like, oh, that's that's maybe my ex's new wife or girlfriend or whatever from like 10 years ago. Or it could be, just like someone I had some drama with and they're just hating, like in the past or even in the present. Not everyone's going to like you, period. Like it's just impossible to make everybody like you. And that's why I even showed up and did this podcast, because I realized, hey, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, so you might as well. I should put that on a t-shirt or a hat. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm going to do it. I'm going to create merch. You heard it here first. I'm going to create merch. I'm going to put on Patreon. I made a Patreon account today, so you could join the group coaching program membership through that and get like, I'll probably set up some like behind the scenes, video access. Cause I don't record video of this, but I'm going to start, and I can make that like exclusive access. So you could see me sitting here with my glass of organic wine I just bought today when I went and got groceries. And yeah, we can just like hang out. Anyway, so we're talking about the dark night of the soul, and I'm giving you some ideas of how to know that you're going through it, right? How to know that you're going through the dark night of the soul. So we're talking about impressing people less, not caring and wanting to connect with them more. And then I went on like this whole like making people like you or needing people to like you. And then that one, and you know me, I go on these little rants, these little tangents, and then we come back full circle. It always works out. But anyway, so, okay, where was I? So we're talking about the impressing people less and, wanting to connect more on like an emotional level, heart to heart, soul to soul, that sort of thing. So when you're like trying to impress people into liking you, it's always going to leave you feeling empty because it's not a true connection. And it's just like the ego to kind of like soothe itself when there's like fear around truly being seen. So when you're trying to make people like you, it's you putting on a front or putting on a mask to mirror what you think you should be for that person to like you. So you're not being your authentic self. And what I learned this past year, especially when I started my coaching business officially and launched this podcast a year ago, I realized that me being my authentic self me being my truest self, not worrying about what people think or say, and not worrying about, just overall judgment or trying to make people like me, like really letting that completely go and just being me was the most attractive thing that happened. Like, people in general are responding and falling in love with me, if you know what I mean, like my vibe, my energy, like all these different reviews. A lot of them say like, oh, I love Rita's vibe, her vibe, her vibe. Everyone's talking about my vibe. And it's like complete strangers, people that have never met me before are talking about my vibe. So that was because I started to really truly be me in the most realist, authentic way that you could ever imagine. I just found a review from CIL_A. She says, I love Rita's vibe, the way she shares her own journey to empowerment, the guests she has, and she's such a beautiful light, both on this podcast and on Instagram. I love how she interacts with her listeners like me. So see, that's what I mean. It's like, and that was in April. So I started showing up as me. Now, that came from having a dark night of the soul in 2000, I want to say 17, 18, when I was living in New York. And that happened there. Like, you don't just experience dark night of the soul once. It's like, I heard that it happens when you're 35, and then sometime in your 20s. And it doesn't stop there. Like, it's a thing that will happen every time there's like a new level, a new spiritual awakening, and kind of like shedding your old self. So that's the thing, is like that happened for me in New York, and I thought I was just depressed. I didn't know what it was. Then I discovered Gabby Bernstein, and I read The Universe Has Your Back, and that like yanked me out of quote unquote depression by like chapter 3. And it just like really connected some dots for me, and that's when my journey really started. I started exploring Abraham Hicks, and I got this book called The Untethered Soul by William A. Singer. And is it? No, I'm sorry, it's Michael Singer. Yeah, not William, it's Michael. So it's funny is that when I started to read that book back then, it didn't make any sense to me at all. Like, it was hard to read, to understand. And I would like read the same paragraph like 10 times. And I didn't make it through the book until like, it just took me forever. And then now I look at that book and I fly through it. It's like 3rd grade reading level for me, because you grow and you evolve and you understand things on a deeper level, so that you are basically like growing, evolving, shifting, changing, and things that you understand become second nature to you. And then you essentially keep learning and growing and evolving and exposing yourself to something new. So now, and this is so perfect because I basically, like, if you listen to the last episode where I was like, I'm back, bitches, is like my comeback episode, because I hadn't posted anything since July, because I had been essentially, not since July, but like the last several weeks, maybe even month or two, I've been kind of going through the dark night, right? Like, it's not necessarily one night. It could be 2 weeks. It could be a month. It could be 2 months. I don't know. But I realized that now in the past couple of weeks, I had COVID, and I was basically going through the dark night of the soul in the deepest way possible ever, like crazy. And now, as a result of it, my spiritual awakening, it's so crazy, you guys. Like, I'm seeing things that I am like, it's like another dimension, like it's multidimensional. My experience is with the spiritual is just like really elevated, really enhanced, kind of scary. I'm not going to lie. Like, I feel entities, I feel energy, I see like shadows and lights, and it's like kind of creeping me out even talking about this right now, because I don't know why I feel like I love recording my podcast at night. I think it's because it's so quiet and so still. But I don't know. It's a vibe. It's weird. But anyway, so my recent dark night of the soul really leveled me up even more to the point where now I'm like on a whole new spiritual plane. It's so creepy. I'm not like, oh my God. Yeah, that was it. Okay. Bunch of emails and things dinging at the same time. My bad. But yeah, so see, that was like a spirit. No kidding. No, but that's what happens. Like earlier I was talking about one of my clients that I've been coaching since February, and she responded to another client that's in the group coaching who commented saying something, and then she responded the way I would have responded. And I was just like, wow, look at that. Like the student became the teacher, right? And it's just so amazing because you become like, she's a completely different person. It is insane to see her. Like, wow, what a transformation. Like, I should have her come on the podcast to talk to you about her experience. Oh my God. Like, she was so quiet and really reserved and didn't realize like how she was holding herself back from actually living her life. And now she's just vibrant, confident, glowing, vegan, like over 30 weeks now. Oh my goodness. Like it's like night and day. And then now every conversation she's having with people, she's finding herself teaching them what she's learned. So it's like this ripple effect. So I was talking about that on the phone to a friend and mentioned this exact thing that I just said to you. And then suddenly out of nowhere, there is a freaking fly out of nowhere. And I was like, what? Where did you come from? So I'm like, that's from, if you know me and my story and my episodes and my whatever, you know that the fly and the number 44 is like my sign. So I felt like, whoa, as I was talking about that, this fly just out of nowhere shows up and it's like flying around me. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And I take it as like validation or like, hey, pay attention to what you were just talking about. Focus on that. That's important. Or, you know, it's kind of like giving me a little sign, a little nudge in that direction. Okay, let's go back. Where were we? So full circle, baby. So what else? Other ways that you could know that you're experiencing a dark night of the soul is that you're not letting yourself feel like, I want to say fear, where you're not like you're not like, oh, why me? And everything's messed up and blah, blah. You're kind of like waking up to your own power and realizing how like you have your own power in the sense of like taking control of your own like healing and other people. It's like this system and I don't want to say this country because there's people listening from different countries, but like there's this fear-based system, right? And it's just like, think about when like you pray to God, or you're like worried about something. It's like you're begging, right? You're like, please God this, please God that. It's like you start to realize your own power from like within you. And then you might have like some random memories or dreams or like forgotten childhood experiences that just like pop up out of nowhere, and you start to remember things. They come up to the surface, and like, or the energy that you've been like ignoring all this time, it's like now it's beginning to diffuse, right? And you're like opening yourself back up to you just like crack this piece of your subconscious wide open, and things that you didn't even know you remembered or had as a memory start to show up. So when I was going through it in New York, I was in a relationship at the time, and I remember specifically like I went through an experience with him where he didn't come home until like 7 a.m. And I was like, oh my God. Like in that moment, I'm like calling him, and I remembered like out of nowhere, this memory just like shot back into my brain, and I didn't know where the hell it came from. I don't remember actually experiencing it, but then suddenly in that moment, I'm like dialing him and leaving him a voicemail, and I like dropped my phone because I felt that I was my mom calling my dad like in the middle of the night, and she was like whisper yelling, trying to conceal it from us that that's what she was doing, right? But kids are so intuitive. Kids are so smart. Like they know everything that's going on. They're so in tune, or attuned rather, I should say. But like this is, and you know, it's really fun. I'm just going to throw this out there. If your kid has like an imaginary friend, I guarantee you that's like a spirit. That's a soul. That's a spirit that's just like hanging out with them. Like they're able to see it. They're able to connect. That's how pure they are, right? Until we like fuck up their subconscious with like experiences and things that they go through, and they kind of like create this survival strategy situation programming, and it becomes like the computer running in the background. And this is why it like, you know, everybody is walking around reacting to things like they would when they were 6, 7 years old. So yeah, so if you start to have like memories come up, you were suppressing them to protect yourself because you didn't want to remember them, right? So there's that. And then another thing that would really, really, really tell you that you are having a dark night of the soul is that you start to rethink like what you're even doing with your life, like what success is to you. And you know, like you used to think you wanted this or you wanted that, but then like you don't want any of that anymore, and you just don't really care about those things anymore. So there's that. And then you might even get to a point where you start to like want to do things that you used to do when you were a kid. It's kind of like you have this like rebirth, but like this old you dies, this new you is emerging, but you're like in this little gray area. So you're kind of like discovering your inner child again. So when this happened for me, I freaking got a Super Nintendo. I got a Sega. I got a coloring book and crayons. I got rollerblades. So like I found myself doing that, and I didn't even realize why, but it was me like connecting with my inner child again. And honestly, me doing that has served me so freaking well, because I swear to you, me staying in the energy of my youth, of my childhood, by like keeping all these things around and board games and everything, it's kept me so young. Like I honestly look better. I feel better than I did when I was in my 20s. I'm going to be 37 on November 30th. So that's pretty wild to even say out loud. I don't even pay attention to age and numbers, and it's like what you believe and what you think is what you're going to see and what you're going to experience and what you feel. So if you're like following this whole thing with like age, oh, I'm getting older, you're going to start feeling older. You're going to look in the mirror, you're going to see yourself older, and you're buying into it and you're believing it, and you're manifesting it, right? So I did the opposite. I did the complete opposite. Plus, I mean, I have been vegan and juicing since 2010. But yeah, so, and there were like moments like when I was in New York and I left this relationship and I was going through the whole dark night of the soul thing, I did start to like dabble with a different diet, because I was like shedding like, oh, why am I vegan and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, fuck that shit and forget it. And it doesn't even matter. And, you know, so things like that. So then I started to eat like eggs or dairy. And then I started to eat salmon, and I was like really not feeling good. And so that's when I was like, no, this isn't working for me. And I went back to being vegan. So yeah. And then what else happened when I was going through the dark night of the soul? I was crying like crazy, and I couldn't stop. Now, not this most recent time. I wasn't crying. I just felt like, what's the point of everything? And started to question everything I'm doing, everything people are doing, you know, and COVID, I think, did this for a lot of people. I think it forced a lot of people to be alone. It took away the things that they were using to numb themselves, to mask their pain, mask their loneliness, mask their insecurity, and all of that. So like imagine a guy Now, this is me speaking from experience as well, living in New York and all that. And even in California, they call the guys Peter Pans because they never want to grow up. They want to party until they're like 49, turning 50, or even, so kind of like that. The thing is with like the dark night of the soul or COVID, I feel like COVID gave a lot of people a dark night of the soul experience, because it took away, like, say, for example, these Peter Pan guys, they're going out, they're partying, they're hanging with the boys, they're drinking, they're whatever, going on dates, different girl every night, 2 girls in the same night. I don't know. But basically what happened was they couldn't go out anymore. Like, they couldn't go to the club. They couldn't go to the bar. They couldn't hang with their boys. Like, so then they felt they had to be alone with themselves, right? You had to be alone with yourself. Maybe you have a family, maybe, your situation, your house was full and that was, different, chaotic in its own way, maybe, but you still felt like you lost something, lost a part of you maybe, and then started to ask yourself all these questions like, what's important? That wasn't even important. What is important? Who am I without that, or whatever? And so I think that when you're alone with yourself, when you're forcing yourself or forced to be alone with yourself, you're thinking, you're really being with your thoughts, with your feelings, with what's coming up and your emotions and whatnot. And then you're looking at your life and the things that you used to do, you can't do anymore. And then you start to question things. And this is where like the dark night of the soul comes in. And so I think a lot of guys, like the Peter Pans I was just talking about, like they wanted to get into a relationship all of a sudden. Whereas before, they would always be the ones to say they're like emotionally unavailable. I'm not looking for anything serious right now, that kind of thing. But then how many people suddenly like met and then got married like in a year or something crazy? But yeah, anyway, so that's just like, I think COVID really forced people to be alone and took away the things that they were using to numb themselves or mask their, their pain, or it was like this fogginess, this veil that's been lifted, right? And I really think that it served people really well because they've been, it's like go, 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 go. So this made you kind of just pause and really look at what's important. Granted, a lot of crazy shit has happened as well, and I'm not going to get into it this time. I swear to God, I'm not doing it. If you want to hear my rant about COVID and all the corruption and conspiracy shit, go to my last episode, the most recent one, that's called I'm Back, Bitches. Is that what I actually called it? Oh my God. Maybe that's why I got 1 star. Oh my God, hilarious. Okay. So what else? Let's see. What else happens during Dark Night of the Soul? Ooh, there's some people when they're going through the Dark Night of the Soul, they really feel like a part of them is dying. Like, and you become so aware of your ego. And what I mean by ego is your like subconscious that is running the show. And then a lot of like spiritual thought leaders and whatnot say ego is edging God out when you're thinking from your desires that aren't from the heart. Anyway, so like you have like these like crazy irrational thoughts and you're just kind of like feeling like you're dying and the whole depression thing, but then you feel like you're suffering. And so you're able to experience the suffering. You can call it pain. If you're like, you kind of maybe even become more of an empath. You start to really feel what other people experience that are not as well off and going through really hard times and things. So like maybe someone in another country, and they're experiencing war, like what was happening in Israel and whatnot. So like, maybe you started to really feel for them and feel their pain and feel their, so that might be something that you'd experience. You start to really become more empathic. Another thing from going through the dark night of the soul is that your sleeping habits could change. You could be hungrier or maybe not even hungry at all. And you really feel like you are either sleeping nonstop and you need to take it easy. Your whole body's like recalibrating and you feel like, it's like this emptiness where you if you're laying in bed, you don't even want to move. You don't want to do anything because you're like, I don't have anything to do. Nothing matters. I don't care. Fuck this shit. What's the point? Like big questions. Why am I here? What's my purpose? What's the point of all this? Like you just kind of start to feel this like emotion of I don't want to move. Like what's the point? And it's like depression, right? And then what ends up happening, so you're going through all of this and it could be days, it could be weeks, it could be a month. And it's all really dependent on when you have that moment where you start to recognize that you're being guided, that there's little signals, there's little signs, little nudges. You're getting these like little coincidences and it's kind of directing you. It's kind of guiding you to pay attention to something. So for me going through the dark night, this most recent time, I started to see and feel, the flies, the 44s, the energy in my apartment, the air is just thicker. And then I felt called to use my oracle cards, and with my group coaching students, I was pulling cards for them and they were like super, super spot on. It was creepy. Like it was such in flow, like so in flow that we went 5 hours. This is supposed to be like a 2-hour group. Actually, it's supposed to be an hour, but I do 2. And then a lot of times it goes to 4. It's never gone to 5. And this was a completely like new version of me that's super, super insanely connected to spirit and my consciousness, my awakening. Like, oh my God, you guys, seriously, like something has happened. Something has shifted. I'm like, I know it sounds nuts, but it's true. And it's kind of creepy. And I don't know like how to make sense of what's happening, but I'm kind of just being with it and trying to not freak out. It's a lot. But yeah. So what else? The dark night of the soul. I feel like that's it. It's like a moment where you feel like there's nothing that can fix this. You've given up. Like, I got to tell you, I have a friend who I was messaging, like, I feel lost, I feel confused, I feel this and I feel that. And like, I have every reason to be like super happy and everything's great and whatever. And like, I have a thriving freaking group coaching business. I have a bunch of one-on-one clients. Like, everything is good. And I have a nice apartment and a nice car and a super cute dog. And like, I have some great friends and I'm seeing kind of somebody. And, it's like, I have every reason to be happy. But then why am I laying on my couch, not wanting to move, or in my bed, not wanting to move? And my friend is messaging me saying, hey, where the fuck is your podcast? And I'm like, what's the point? Fuck it. I don't want to do anything anymore. And he's like asking me questions and kind of trying to make sure I'm not suicidal. That's how bad I sounded. Like, I could read you messages from my conversation with him. He's like, whoa, dude, what the fuck? Like, and it's crazy to hear that or get that from me, where I'm like this, like, oh, farting rainbows, super happy, joyful. And right now, as I'm speaking to you, I'm seeing little flashes of like silver lights that just like flashed before my eyes just like twice as I was talking about that, which is really interesting. Because I kind of see like energy particles now, like it, when you turn on a TV and it's not connected, and it's that like fuzzy screen. It's like trying to like what was I just gonna make a sound of what the fuzzy screen looks like? What the fuck was that, Rita? Oh my god, it's so funny. But you know, when you look at a TV screen and it's like all pixelated, like that's kind of what I see. But on like, imagine you go to an optometrist and they're like putting these lenses before your eyes and like, is this better or worse? Better or worse? So I'm seeing it like it's better, but it's also like flashy little lights. Like when you move too fast, gosh, I'm giving you so many examples. This is hilarious. When you move too fast and then you suddenly see like stars, right? This is trippy. I have the TV on in front of me and it's just like no volume or anything, obviously, but this screen came on where it's like all stars as I'm talking about stars. See, it's like, this is what I mean, is like little coincidences. So you'll start to notice these as you're like coming out of the dark night of the soul. But yeah, so that's basically what the dark night of the soul is. And those are some signs that you're experiencing it. It's really like a spiritual depression. And it really requires just super deep and super painful, like being with yourself, letting yourself feel the feelings, ask these big ass questions. But like maybe if you can get yourself to journal and just really be with it. And when I say be with it, that means like be still. Let yourself be still without judgment. Just like take the time, relax, cry your eyes out, hug yourself, be around people or be alone. Like it's completely normal to want to be alone, but also to want someone around and just to not even say anything, just to be there with you, right? So I hope that this helped you understand what the dark night of the soul is. And just to support you, I would love to give you just a couple of like habits to try and do every single day, because if you allow yourself to introduce new things, new habits that will like really support you and create help you like create a new evolved enlightened version of you, because that's what comes from the dark night of the soul, like a whole new enlightened evolved version of you. Like you could never even imagine going back to being the other version. Like it's unbelievable that you were even that version. Like that's how much of a level up you're gonna be going to. Like that's it. So just a few like tips, I guess, or things to do. I would nourish the fuck out of my body if I were you. Like definitely have a green juice every day. Like if you don't feel like getting up and making or getting groceries, you could order groceries, you could make the juice, you could order the freaking juice. You know, just have a green juice, drink a lot of water, and eat as many raw fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds as possible. Like nourish your body right now. Like you really need to be nourishing your body, because you don't realize this, but the food that you're eating has chemicals in it. These chemicals are designed to get you depressed and sick and feeling like shit and all of that. So don't eat processed things. Don't eat fake food. Nourish your body right now so that your brain can be nourished, so that you can enhance your human experience and really connect to your intuition, really connect to your spirit. I feel like me up-leveling and evolving and becoming more enlightened and what have you, I think that it has a shit ton to do with the fact that it's been 11 years that I've been nourishing my body. Like there's no way I would be this version of me if I didn't start eating the way that I did in 2010. There's no fucking way. There's no way I would be this Rita. No way. Impossible. So yeah, so nourish your body, please. If you need help, let me know. DM me. I will give you some recipes or give you some tips and advice and whatever. And if you want to get like a coaching whatever or a juice cleanse or whatever, we'll talk. Either way. And then you can go for a walk if you can get yourself up and out of bed, off the couch, like get some fresh air every single day. Get some fresh air, even if it's like going out on your patio or your balcony or walking your dog. Like get some fresh air, get some sun. Okay. It's so important. And then with like doing the work, like if you're laying in bed, if you're laying on the couch, you're feeling, like crap and you nothing matters, you don't want to do anything. One thing that I did was I grabbed my journal and I just started writing, letting all my emotions out. This is how you process your emotions. You want to write them all out, get them on paper, cry your eyes out all over them. I literally have so many dry tears on my pages. It's not even funny. Like, let yourself cry. Let yourself go, why the fuck am I crying? Let yourself write down all the emotions. Things will come up that you don't even realize are like underneath the surface of why you think you're feeling this way. It's like super deep work. And so the amount of deep work that you get done is really on you. Okay. But it starts with like journaling, with sitting with yourself. Okay. And you could think, you can meditate, you can whatever, but I really feel that the writing is the biggest help ever. Okay. Another thing that you could do that this always gets me out of a funk. I did it today, as a matter of fact. When I got my groceries, I spent like $100 on groceries, and that's actually pretty good. Like, I normally do way more than that. But so I got myself flowers. I got myself a bottle of wine. I don't even drink, but I don't know. I got this organic non-GMO wine. It's like a Spanish blend of reds. But anyway, so I got that, and I'm looking at all the delicious, beautiful veggies and fruits and organic groceries that I got. And then I see this bag where it says like, grab and give. So it's like you basically pay for this bag and then it's donated to a family in need, and it's got food in it. And so I was like, I'll grab one of those too. I'll pay for one of those too. And she goes, oh, wow, thank you so much for your donation. And I was like, it's literally the least I could do. Like, if I'm spending all this on myself, how the fuck am I going to like walk out, and not give back like that? And then every time I give, I say it'll come back times 10. And it always does. Sometimes the same day, sometimes within the hour. So I feel like doing a kindness. And I used to reward my 5th graders when I was teaching 5th grade in Arizona for a random act of kindness. They would get a bonus and they'd add it to their checkbook register. Like, they get paid for performing random acts of kindness. It's so cool. So yeah, so like, do something kind, give, just something that will make someone's day like it really makes yours in return. It's really beautiful. And then you might not have the energy or the desire, but the most important thing you could do during a dark night of the soul is fucking read. Like, legit, pick up the book or listen to this podcast or another podcast or whatever, but pick up a book that's like a spiritual awakening kind of book, like The Untethered Soul, A Return to Love, The Universe Has Your Back, A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. So like, I have books for days. I can give you a whole list of books of what I read that like helped me back in the day when the day was back. So pick up a book, even if you just like read a few pages, read for 10 minutes, read one chapter. If you read every day, just 10 pages a day, you'll finish like more books than you would have ever like imagined. I think the number is like 10 books a year or something like that if you just read 10 pages a day. I don't know, but yeah, do that. And try, so aside from like reading, I would say like just really be in the quiet. So don't watch TV, don't listen to anything, just be in the complete silence and the complete quiet. Like, when I'm driving, I sometimes don't listen to anything. It's just completely quiet, and it's so perfect. And just disconnect and unplug from technology. Like, don't go scrolling and all that. Like, leave your phone in another room. Just be calm, be at peace, be unreachable. Like, right now we're accessible 24/7. It's disgusting, man. And it's like, if you don't text someone back, they freak out on you. Or it's like, you liked a picture on Instagram and you can't text me back. It's like, yo, red flag. Like, what is even happening right now? Like, I miss when I was a kid and I would come home and see what missed calls we had or what messages we had and all that, like, you weren't accessible 24/7. You actually lived and came back home and didn't have a phone attached to you. It drives me crazy. So yeah, those are just some things, that you could do to shift. And another thing I would say is the whole gratitude bit. I know people talk about gratitude, and I just really, really, really feel that the way gratitude is more impactful is when you express why you're grateful for each thing that you're saying. I'm grateful for this. Like, write 3 reasons why you're grateful for it. Like, go deeper on why and feel into it. And the other day I was having a conversation with this guy. We were hanging out on the beach and we're talking about how people take things for granted that they once were super excited about, right? And the same thing goes for relationships. Like, you're in a relationship in the very beginning, you were super stoked about this person, but now you freaking take them for granted and every little thing is bothering you and you're right? So like, we're on the beach and we're looking at these apartments and these houses behind us and the sun was setting and we're sitting there admiring the sunset and we're looking back at the apartment behind us and I was like, look at, they're just walking back and forth in their apartment, going to the kitchen, going da. How many times do you think they actually sat down and stared at the sun setting and went like, oh my God, we're so lucky. Like, they probably did that in the beginning, but they're not doing it anymore, right? So it's like they don't appreciate it. So imagine they lose that house or apartment and then they have to move somewhere else more inland and then they can't see the sunset at the beach. Like, literally they are on the fucking sand. And they're not watching the sunset because it's like an everyday thing. It's like, oh, whatever, it's going to happen tomorrow, that sort of thing. So we take things for granted. So I want you to approach things and feel into things as if they are brand new, as if you just got them. Look at all the things that you have at your house as if you just fucking got them and then be grateful for them, right? So that's it. So these are just a few ways that you can start to get out of the dark night of the soul, or just, habits that you can start incorporating in your everyday life to enhance your experience. And yeah, man, I hope this was helpful. If it was, please let me know. Leave a freaking review, a good one, because what the fuck? Oh my God, I'm like so sad. Like, why would people do that? It's not nice, but you know what? It's all good. I love you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this episode and got something out of it. If you did, please let me know, and please share it with somebody that you care about, that you know is going through a tough time, that you think could benefit from this. And I hope that you have a beautiful morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm so grateful you're here with me. I love you so much, and I look forward to next Tuesday. Talk to you soon. Mwah!